Getting a new computer can be pretty exciting, but what do you do with the old one? This is Allison from Computers.mom, and this video will show you how Apple's amazing sustainability program can help you decide what to do with your old computer. Because no matter how old it is, your computer does not belong in the trash. Computers contain toxic chemicals like mercury and arsenic that do not belong in landfills where they can leach into our drinking water. And especially if it's a Mac, it might be worth something. And Apple makes it easy to do the right thing. To get started, you'll need some basic information about the device you're trying to recycle. If your old computer still works, click the Apple menu on the upper left-hand corner of the screen and select About This Mac. In the window that appears, which I'm blowing up so it's easier to see, note the serial number, model, and year, the processor, and then it can also be helpful to go to the Storage tab and check the size of the storage. Once you have all this info available, return to the Overview page and let's tuck this window out of the way but still open so we can look at it later. If your computer doesn't work any longer, all is not lost. You can still find the serial number on the bottom of the computer in tiny little writing. On an iMac, the serial number is on the bottom of the stand. You'll want to put it face down to see it. It's usually easiest if you take a picture of it so you can blow it up and make it easier to read. Now take that number and go to checkcoverage.apple.com. Remember, you only need to do this step if your computer doesn't turn on properly. There's a link to that site in the description of this video for your convenience. Type in the serial number you just found, being careful not to mix up your zeros and O's, and then complete the CAPTCHA to prove that you're a human, and Apple will give you all the details about the computer. Armed with those details, now go to Apple's website, apple.com. We're looking for the trade-in program, which is in the links all the way at the bottom of this very long page. Pro tip, on a Mac, you can go immediately to the very bottom of the page by holding down the Command key on the keyboard and tapping the down arrow. Command plus down arrow takes you instantly to the bottom of this page so you don't have to do all that scrolling. Here in the links at the bottom of the page, click on Apple Trade-in. And here we are. You can take your time reading through this page and note that there are a bunch of helpful FAQs at the bottom. When you're ready, proceed to this section in the middle entitled Select Your Device and choose Computer. After this first little intro window, you'll see a choice of Apple or anyone else's computer. Choose Apple, and the first thing you're asked for is the serial number. If you still have that window open, you can copy and paste the serial number from here. Otherwise, just type it in and click Verify. In many cases, Apple will be able to identify the exact computer from the serial number like this. And if the description matches, you just click Yes to confirm. But sometimes with older computers, Apple is not able to identify the exact model from the serial number. Let's try this again with a different serial number from an older computer, the one we looked up before, and we get a choice like this. That's why we looked it up on the Check Coverage page, so we can choose the correct details based on the information we found earlier. We know it's an iMac, and we can go back and look at this page to confirm that it's from late 2014. The Check Coverage page, though, doesn't give us every detail, so we can't answer all the questions like the processor and the storage, but just pick something so you can move forward even if it's not necessarily accurate. Once we've identified the model, Apple asks a series of questions about the condition of the computer. Answer these as best you can, but don't worry too much if you're not sure, because they'll evaluate the computer when they receive it. You can also modify your answers and see what changes. If we say it's not working, for example, Apple concludes that it has no trade-in value, but they will still recycle it for free, which is great. If we back up and say it is working and that the condition is good, we get a trade-in value of $360. Not too shabby. But note that this is the maximum amount you will receive, and it's only provisional. If after they receive the computer, they determine that the details or the condition are not exactly as described, they may revise the offer. If you decide to go forward with the trade-in, you'll just fill out this form with your shipping address, and Apple sends you a perfectly fitted box and pays for shipping both ways. So factor those costs in when you're deciding whether to go forward. But now that you have an idea of what the computer is worth according to Apple, you have options. You can trade it in with Apple, either for a discount on something you're ordering now or a gift card to use later, but not cash. You can either bring it to an Apple store if that's convenient, or have Apple send you the box I mentioned earlier, and you just have to pack it up and get it to FedEx. So while this is often not the most profitable option, it's very easy and very low risk. And if the computer has no value, at least Apple will recycle it properly. Alternatively, now that you know what Apple's willing to offer, you can check out some of the popular resale sites like eBay, Swappa, cultofmac.com, and others. These sites involve more work and more risk, but you may get more money for your old computer this way. And of course, you can always give it to a friend or family member or your favorite nonprofit. But whatever you do with the old computer, be sure to prepare it first by signing out of iCloud and erasing your data, and so on. You'll find a link to Apple's excellent instructions for those steps in the description below. And if you're a Computers.mom client, we'll even do it for you. Thanks for watching. Please click like if you found this helpful. Feel free to leave comments and questions for us, and be sure to subscribe for more Computers.mom videos.